Hi guys. I have a new setup today. Well, I just moved the camera, so let me know if you love it, hate it, don't care. Love to know. Okay. We have a big baby today. This is Boo. She's named after Boo from Monsters Inc. And she's like going on 12 years old in July. My baby. If you can't tell, she really loves food like her mama. Today we're gonna talk about Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I can't believe that it took me this long to watch this movie. I don't know why I haven't seen it before. Finding a movie with my boyfriend is the most annoying thing because I did a job for a whole year that was like analyzing films. So I watched at least 5 films a day on like triple speed. And then of course I'm just a movie buff in general, and then film school watching so many films. So the amount of films I've seen, there's not a whole lot that I haven't at this point, especially horror because favorite genre. But I apparently haven't seen this movie. It was so fun. I really liked it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let me give you the rundown. And if you like horror comedies or like parody movies, I do recommend this one. It was very fun. So this film follows Tucker and Dale, these hillbillies, and then it follows a group of college kids, and they're like on a camping trip. You have the basic blonde bimbo characters, like the beautiful blonde girls that have no brain. Except the one character, you know, this movie's all about breaking, like, kind of breaking the norm, even though it's starting out with all of the basic stereotypes in a horror movie and then kind of like breaking the stereotype. So the main girl, Allison, beautiful blonde, you assume she's stupid in the beginning, and then it's kind of revealed later on like, oh, she's in college studying to be a psychologist and she's actually quite smart and like blah 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 blah. And like actually a very like sweet person, although she never says thank you. We'll get into that. But then there's the other blonde girl, which that actress has been in everything. Like everything in the early 2000s she was in, and she is like your stereotypical, she is just the dumb blonde character. And then we have the basic hot jock character. Hot is, you know, subjective. His name's Chad, of course, the basic Chad. He's the typical Tool narcissistic character that's like, you know, kind of a sociopath. As it's like revealed later on. Then, you know, we have we have the other friend characters a lot of times is the, oh, let's pick a minority and throw them in, and typically that's the character that gets killed off the fastest. And I mean, that's like the only stereotype. I think that they changed a little bit of the stereotype, I guess, but those characters, I mean, yeah, they kind of were still not given the time of day. You know, I have my issues about that, but that's, you know, it's a Tucker and Dale movie, I guess. But basically, these college kids see these hillbillies. They're really these 2 dudes that are on a vacation. They don't know how to talk to women, especially Dale. And so they are like I think they're at like a gas station getting supplies or whatever, and the college kids come in and they're like, oh my god, I bet you those hillbillies are serial killers and they're gonna try to kill us. And so they're like coming up with all of these like conspiracies. And then that night, Chad is telling the whole group about the story that ends up coming back later on in the film. And he's like, oh, these hillbillies killed this group of college kids, they murdered and slaughtered them. So all of these college kids are all freaked out. They all go swimming. You see a weird scene with Chad trying to hit on Allison, and she's like, no. And he's kind of giving rapey vibes, or like just like creepy vibes. They end up not doing anything because she's like, go away, Chad. We can talk about this another day. So she kind of pushes him away. The group goes to swim together. She goes to get in the water and like starts drowning. So Dale helps her and brings her back to Tucker and Dale's cabin. And of course, the friend group is like, oh my god, she must have been kidnapped by the hillbillies. In reality, like, they saved her life. And then she wakes up in the cabin and, you know, at first, like, oh my god, I've been kidnapped. And so she sees Dale across the room. She's like talking to him, and it's like so obvious. Like, Dale has the biggest crush on her, and he just is a sweet, sweet man that just, you know, unfortunately doesn't have the biggest, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, you know? That's okay, neither. But it's kind of also revealed that he's smart in a specific way where he has, I guess, like, photographic memory, and he can remember very specific events and historical things that happen. But, like, you know, he can't hold a basic conversation very well. And so that's kind of like the dynamic. And then Allison is talking to him and realizes that, like, oh, he helped me from drowning. And he's like, oh yeah, like, you stay here, rest, like, you need to rest. We'll find your friends and bring them to you. And that's when, like, the fun begins of this movie. The two hillbillies trying to find her friends while they are dying in the most stupid ways possible. I think my favorite death scene was definitely the wood chipper. There's one guy that's like, oh, I'm gonna go attack Tucker. Well, he doesn't know his name, but he's like, I'm gonna go attack this hillbilly. And he's at a wood chipper, you know, chipping wood. And this fucking dude walks up and just lunges himself into the wood chipper. and I'm just like, how did we think that was gonna go, you know? And so Tucker's like trying to pull the guy out while he's, you know, going into the wood chipper being chipped away. And he's like, he grabs his body, his like lower half of the body, and he's like, are you okay? Like, no, dude, he doesn't have his head anymore, or his upper torso. I don't think he's okay. So that's one gone. Another dude runs into a sharp log and impales himself. Obviously these deaths are so unrealistic, but it's just like very funny and goofy, and so these like college kids are thinking that they're being massacred one by one. Meanwhile, these hillbillies are actually trying to help them, and the hillbillies are like, I think they have like a suicide pact, like they're trying to kill themselves, and I think that they might be trying to kill Allison too. Like, we need to protect her. And then you kind of find out Chad is kind of taking control and leading the group in very sinister ways. He has it in his head that, oh, like, these hillbillies are evil and we need to stop them. And then these other two are like, we need to go get the police. We should call for help. And he's like, no, the police can't help us. Which, like, think if there's a serial killer killing people, maybe you should go to the police. I don't know why you would think that the police couldn't help you. Which, like, he doesn't end up being wrong. Because the cop does show up, and then the cop accidentally gets killed trying to go check on Allison. Because, like, a beam, like, comes and smacks him upside the head and, like, kills him. And so, of course, Chad and the others are like, oh my god, the hillbillies killed the cop. In reality, it was just another freak accident. It ends up being a thing where Chad, his parents were actually part of the story that he was telling of this massacre. What he fails to realize is that his father was apparently the killer. And so there's like this scene where Dale and Allison confront him, and it's a scene where Allison was like tied to this sawmill, and so Dale's like trying to help her out, and he couldn't like get the knot loose, and it ends up being like, oh, an axe is thrown and it cuts the rope and she frees herself magically. And then they're like, Chad, you are half hillbilly too. Chad, you're a half hillbilly. And he's like, no, impossible. That can't be. Me? No. Chad like tries to attack Allison, thinking like, oh, you're on their side, huh? And she's just like, dude, you're kind of losing your marbles, I think. So Dale ends up having to help her and get her away. So then the movie essentially ends where they are able to defeat Chad, get away. All the other college kids are just killed off. There's like a whole fire. Then they're at the hospital. Tucker has been seriously injured. He's lost fingers because Chad was torturing him and trying to like use him as bait to get to Dale. You know, so it's this whole bloodbath happening. But Tucker and Dale will survive. And Tucker's like, did you do it? Did you ask her out? And Dale's like, well, I'm going to go bowling with her, so if that's asking her out. And so they end up going on this like date, and then at the end, he's kind of trying to express his feelings to Allison. She kisses him, and it's like, oh, happy ending. The hillbilly ends up with the beautiful blonde, breaking stereotypes. So it was a very goofy movie, very fun. I definitely am shocked I didn't see this beforehand, because I love a good parody movie. They're so like lowbrow humor, but I love that. Like, I went to film school. I watched the more collegiate films too, and like, of course, I enjoy them, and I had to write many essays on a lot of those. You know, I know how to analyze and watch a good movie when I feel like it, but this kind of movie is more the movie I like watching, because it's just like you don't have to think about it much at all. And it's just kind of like a fun watch. Also, lots of gore. Doesn't necessarily look the best, but I think that's kind of the point. So yeah, if you are into horror and like a good comedic horror once in a while, I would definitely give this a watch if you haven't. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And if there's other movies like this that I'm missing that I should be watching, let me know. I have seen all of the scary movies. I do love Scary Movie like 1 through 4. Of course, are those, up to modern PC culture? No, I think of course we could say there's a lot of offensive jokes in there that don't land as well now. Do I still watch them for fun sometimes because I do find them funny? Yes. Yes, I do. Especially when I'm, having a night with friends and I have been drinking. Those are the most fun films to watch. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye!